the path to a water attraction near the zoo,
The wildlife that was there was forced over to find other territories.
turning out to be so much more than a walk in the park. The past, present, and future of preservation.
Honoring the ancestors is very important, and it reminds me of a quote: if you don't know where you come from or about your past, you can't move forward.
At a historic Miami cemetery, a step closer to Election Day.
Congress has really struggled to make a meaningful impact over the years.
As political party business is discussed. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Julian Davis.
I'm Tanissa Senior. Today is Tuesday, September 19th, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Days of delay for a proposed water park next to Zoo Miami. Today's Miami-Dade Commission meeting was supposed to be a big step towards the park approval or rejection.
Yes, but as Caplin's Nicole Ardell reports, the issue has been postponed.
Here at Zoo Miami, developers want to build a Miami Wilds water park, but are facing heat from conservationists and locals. But the approval is going to be up to Miami-Dade County commissioners, and one expert is sharing how it could impact Florida wildlife. The 27.5-acre project would be built on this Zoo Miami parking lot right next to the pine rocklands of the Everglades, raising red flags within the Miami and conservation communities. Wildlife conservationist Ron McGill has worked for the county for over 40 years, but speaking out as a private citizen, he says this is not the first time he's seen this kind of issue.
Right next door, the Walmart, what they call Coral Reef Commons, the LA Fitness, the car wash, the stores, that eliminated, like I said, the wildlife that was there was forced over to find other territories.
The vote for its lease extension was originally scheduled for September 6th and had been postponed for today. But yesterday, Miami-Dade County Commissioner Keone McGee requested to delay it until county and federal government resolved some court challenges with environmental groups.
Our conservation and research manager has installed bat boxes all around the area there. Every one of those bat boxes has become inhabited. We installed bat boxes on the other side of the forest in the parking lot adjacent to where they built the Walmart and the LA Fitness and all the apartments. Not one bat house became occupied.
McGill says he isn't convinced that it'll be environmentally sensitive after a nearby retail plaza development also ensured to follow guidelines and ended up bulldozing 138 acres of the forest, which according to him forced wildlife out.
They had to abide by what's called HCP, a Habitat Conservation Plan. Nobody's holding them accountable. Already we have lights that are taller than they should be. We have some lights that are shining into the forest.
While several species are being put at risk, some conservationists are mainly concerned about the Florida bonneted bat, one of the rarest mammals on Earth. 18-year-old Luca Martinez is a conservation videographer and speaker who's gone viral on Instagram for his videos about Miami wilds.
This parking lot is mimicking a prairie because the Florida bonneted bats that live in that forest right here, they rely on this airspace to feed and socialize at night.
Development plans originally started with a minimum $99 million investment, including a hotel on the premises. However, it's no longer permitted and the investment has gone down to $47 million.
It's another county boondoggle, gifting the developer $13.5 million for a project that harms no less than 4 federally endangered species.
At the last commission meeting, citizens had mixed opinions about the water park, some supporting economic benefits and others against the location's impact on wildlife.
You're throwing away Miami's history for the fleeting joy of a water slide, and we will remember.
We need thriving and diverse ecosystems for our children to enjoy, not for developers and tourists to destroy.
The project would create jobs, families would get to enjoy the water park, and it would make Kendall more interesting for tourists.
You can build these attractions, you can build these malls, you can build these apartments, and they eventually can be torn down and you can build them again. Once you lose this habitat, this critically endangered habitat, the animals that live in there, once that's gone, all the money in the world cannot buy it back.
The Board of County Commissioners will listen to several citizens and experts who are given only a minute each to speak. Reporting from Miami, I'm Nicole Ardila for Caplin News.
A Central Florida neighborhood is in shock this morning after a violent crime. A Volusia County man is in jail after allegedly shooting and killing a neighbor who was trimming trees near his property line. And it all happened in front of the victim's 8-year-old son.
I was pointing a gun at him at the time to get him off my property.
Right.
And then he kept walking towards me really close, so I shot him.
The 70-year-old suspect surrendered to deputies without issue. He told dispatchers he shot his neighbor. The man told detectives he was afraid of his neighbor because he had spent time in jail before.
Today, President Joe Biden is addressing the United Nations General Assembly in New York. In his address, Biden will cover what the United States has done to help the world's biggest challenges, including commitments to help Ukraine. The speech might also be a look ahead to foreign policy issues in Biden's re-election reach.
2024 campaigns are underway and GoPo presidential hopefuls are touring Iowa, hoping to make their mark ahead of the Iowa caucuses. Caplin's news reporter Kenya Cardone takes us on the trail for Des Moines.
As we approach the 2024 presidential elections, GOP candidates are hitting campaign trails, many focusing on Iowa. Saturday, Nikki Haley and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis speaking at separate events ahead of the Faith and Freedom Coalition event also held that same day. The annual fall banquet featuring a total of 10 GOP presidential hopefuls hoping to be the one to take on President Biden next year. And it's important that these candidates make their marks here in Iowa, partly because of the Iowa caucuses, which are held every presidential election year before any primary in any other state in the country. Topics at question included abortion.
My goal is how do we save as many babies as possible and support as many moms as possible. The way we do that is to bring people together.
I think the states have done the better job thus far. Congress has really struggled to make a meaningful impact over the years. You know, as president, I'm going to welcome pro-life policies across the board, you know, at both levels.
Education.
I would put a target on the backs of the teachers' unions and break their backs. They're destroying our kids, trapping them in failing schools. Not on my watch.
And the Biden impeachment inquiry.
I don't want to jump to conclusions about this, but I must tell you, where there's smoke, there's usually fire in Washington, D.C. And the American people deserve the facts.
Notably absent from the event, former President Donald Trump. The Iowa Republican presidential caucuses are set for January 15th, following the third GOP primary debate, which, according to the RNC, is set to take place in Miami, Florida. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Kenya Cardone.
Lincoln Memorial Park in Miami is the final resting place for hundreds. Sunday night, the community came together to honor those ancestors. Caplin News reporter Cassandra Alonso reports from Little Haiti.
I'm here at the Little Haiti Cultural Complex where the Mellon Grants Commons for Justice host their event, A Call to the Ancestors, an art gallery to unite and bring emotional healing to the community. A Call to the Ancestors, curated by those of the Mellon Grant, honors those buried at the Lincoln Memorial Park. The location, mostly populated by immigrants, best represents their message. The event highlights the past, present, and future of the park while aiming to raise awareness to past racial injustices and victories.
It doesn't matter if you're Christian-based, if you're African religion-based, if you're Native American-based. We're trying to bring everyone together and make that call to the ancestors so that we can secure a better future for us all.
The exhibit featured the parlor, a section filled with books, pictures, and a phone where people were able to leave a meaningful message to those who have passed away.
Now all the messages will be recorded and saved with the idea that in a future date we could get all these messages together we could send one message to all who have perished.
Honoring the ancestors is very important, and it reminds me of a quote: if you don't know where you come from or about your past, you can't move forward.
This is just one of many events where the Commons for Justice Project stands for race, resilience, and risk. The Mullen-Grants Commons for Justice at FIU strive to identify and address the deep racial and ethnic inequities. They aim to support and identify risk, race, and resilience problems predominantly in communities of color.
Commons for Justice was basically created to bring attention to the racial inequalities that are going on in Miami, whether that be with climate risk or pre-disaster exposure or post-disaster resilience.
For more information on the Commons for Justice Project, you can visit wphl.fiu.edu. Reporting from Little Haiti for Caplin News, this is Cassandra Alonzo.
What you eat is a big part of healthy living, but what about when you eat? Caplin's news reporter Abdul Jabbar takes a closer look at intermittent fasting.
In the constant quest to enhance health and quality of life, people frequently encounter revolutionary approaches that challenge traditional dietary norms. One such approach is fasting. Let's dive into what it is, its benefits, and its risks. Fasting has gained popularity as a dietary strategy that promises a range of health benefits.
The benefits of fasting are the sleep well at night. Also, it helps you with your stomach inflammation and clean your whole body.
Fasting can be beneficial for many people, but it also presents some risk and potential challenges.
Intermittent fasting can yield results. It can be a good thing, but you have to understand your own body before you go and you make such a jump, because it can be a little bit harsh at first.
Key to obtaining long-term benefits is consistency and combine it with healthy and balanced diet.
If you want to reduce your anxiety, fasting is your best friend if you do it very well.
The practice of fasting is proving to be relevant and effective in the pursuit of a healthier and balanced life. But moderation and professional supervision are key to your well-being. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Abdul Jabbar.
There are plenty of characters in Disney's Magic Kingdom, but an unexpected visit from a black bear scared the cast and crew. The bear caused multiple parts of the park to close yesterday to keep parkgoers safe. The bear spotted in a tree was sedated and relocated. Florida Fish and Wildlife say he was probably looking for food.
The Marlins rivals, the New York Mets, are out of the playoff contention, but they are still in town trying to spoil Miami's party.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
It's just very disappointing.
A sweet deal as Dairy Queen restaurants become harder to find in South Florida. Stick around, we'll be back in 2 minutes.
Really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes.
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by Panther in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
85-cent blizzards available until this Sunday, and not a moment too soon. Dairy Queen restaurants are disappearing, especially here in South Florida.
And Caplin's Julia Tesaris has more on this sweet deal, aiming to keep customers coming.
I'm here at the iconic 1954 Dairy Queen, and although this one is closed, there's still a few locations around South Florida that have a scoop, which are leaving ice cream lovers in a shock. Dairy Queen entered the ice cream scene in 1940, but it wasn't until 1985 that they officially introduced blizzards on their menu. The blizzard was invented by a franchise owner who owned a whopping 67 Dairy Queen locations before he came up with the concept after seeing a competitor's ice cream shop selling frozen custard.
I have to go to Publix to get my ice cream, but it's not really just a name. So, yeah, I'm really disappointed overall, kind of sad, but what can you do about it? I hope that they can get a result maybe.
Ice cream lovers gather from near and far to savor their favorite sweet treats from their favorite ice cream vendor before they inevitably shut their doors. You can feel the excitement in the air as people gather all around for their favorite American tradition.
I'm just super disappointed because Dairy Queen's like my favorite place on earth, and there's not even like one that's nearby my house anymore. I have to come all the way here. So it's just very disappointing. It makes me just feel really bad.
To give you an idea of how big an impact the blizzard had on Dairy Queen's financial health, in 1985, the company reported a net income of $9.6 million. For shareholders at the time, the only thing sweeter than the blizzard was the wealth that came with it. Although the wealth was booming in 1985, Florida stores now only account for 4% of remaining Dairy Queen locations. But hold your cones, folks, because this story has a sweet twist to it. From now until the 24th of this month, you can score yourself a blizzard for just 85 cents at any Dairy Queen location. Hurry now, because unfortunately these locations are melting as Dairy Queen slowly disappears across the nation. I'm Julia Tesaris for Caplin News.
The Miami Marlins looking to get back into playoff position after getting kicked out of it with their loss against the New York Mets. The Marlins and the Mets both tied, scoring a run in each fifth inning. It was broken by the Mets in the ninth, giving the Mets the win and further hurting Miami's playoff chances. The loss puts the Marlins half a game behind the Cubs and the Reds for the final wildcard spot. Final score was Mets 2, Marlins 1. The Marlins will play the Mets again for their second game of the series today at 6:40 p.m.
That is all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Julian Davis.
I'm Tanissa Sr. Get any more, at Caplin News at FIU.edu.